Good morning, KG2. This week we'll be learning about time, and today we're learning about o'clock time. I can use a clock to tell the time to the hour. I can describe a clock face. These are some of the things that you're going to be able to do when we finish our lesson. Clocks. Time is measured in years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, and seconds. We can use clocks to measure time. There are 24 hours in a day, which is made of 2 lots of 12 hours. 12 hours in the first half of the day and 12 hours in the second half of the day. 1 hour is made up of 60 minutes. We use clocks to help us tell the time. What are the parts of the clock called? Numbers, hour hand, minute hand, clock face. Numbers, hour hand, minute hand, clock face. We use clocks to help us tell the time. The small hand tells us what the hour it is, and we call this the hour hand. The big hand tells us how many minutes past or to each hour it is, and we call this the minute hand. When the minute hand points straight up to the number 12, this tells us it's an o'clock time. This is when a new hour starts. We use clocks to help us tell the time. The minute hand is pointing straight up towards the number 12. This means it is an o'clock time. The hour hand is pointing at the number 3. This means it is 3 o'clock. Let's say the time on the clock together. 1 o'clock. You can see the minute hand is pointing to the 12 and the hour hand is pointing to the 1. 2 o'clock. The hour hand is pointing to the 2 and the minute hand is pointing to the 12. What time will be next? If you said 3 o'clock, you were right. 4 o'clock. And why is it 4 o'clock? Because the hour hand is on the 4 and the minute hand is on the 12. Good job. 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock. What's next? 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Can you tell me why it's 8 o'clock? Because the hour hand is on the 8 and the minute hand is on the 12. 9 o'clock. What comes after 9? 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock, because the big minute hand is on the 12 and the small hour hand is on the 11. What will be our last time? 12 o'clock, because the big hand and the small hand, the minute hand and the hour hand, are both on 12 o'clock. What time is it? Let's have a look and see where our big minute hand and small hour hand are and decide what time it is. The big minute hand is on the 12, so that means it's an o'clock. and the small hour hand is on a 2. So that means it's 2 o'clock. Good job. Let's see what time it is now. The small hour hand is on the 7. Can you guess what time it is? Is it 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 7 o'clock? It is 7 o'clock. Correct. Now the big minute hand is on the 12 and the small hour hand is on the 4. Does that mean it is 9 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or 6 o'clock? Remember, the small hand tells us the hour and the big hand tells us the minutes. That's right, it's 4. Is it 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or 11 o'clock? Remember, check where the small hour hand is. Is it on 1, 7, or 11? On 11, well done. What is the time? Is it 5 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or 6 o'clock? Now we know it's o'clock because the big minute hand is on the 12. So we need to see where the small hour hand is. Is it on the 5, the 2, or the 6? It's on the 5. Well done. Can you guess this time? 8 o'clock. Well done. Okay, now we have the hour hand on the 1 and the big minute hand on the 12, which means it's something o'clock. What o'clock is it? Is it 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or 11 o'clock? 1 o'clock. Well done. See if you can do this one by yourself. Is it 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or 6 o'clock? Good guess, it is 10. Correct. This one's tricky. We need to look to see where the big minute hand is, and it's on the 12th, so it's an o'clock. And where the small hour hand is. Is the small hour hand on the 12, the 6, or the 2? The 6, it is. So does that make it 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 2 o'clock? It makes it 6 o'clock. Well done. Here's another tricky one. Both hands are pointing to the same number. The big minute hand and the small hour hand are both pointing to the same number. Does that make it 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or 10 o'clock? 12 o'clock. Well done. Here's one for you to do by yourself. Remember, look where the big minute hand is and the small hour hand, and that will help you. Did you guess 6 o'clock? No. Did you guess 9 o'clock? No. Did you guess 3 o'clock? Yes. Well done. Correct. Is it 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or 10 o'clock? Remember to look where the small hour hand is because the big minute hand tells us that it's on o'clock. Well done. It is 9 o'clock. Can you draw a clock on your whiteboard or paper? First, draw a circle and write the numbers around the clock, starting with the number 12 at the top. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 should be at the bottom, directly under the 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can either draw hands on your whiteboard or make separate hands. Take a photo of your clock and send it to your teacher. Can you show me where are the numbers and where are the hands? Let's draw some times. Where would the minute hand point at an o'clock time? Would it point at the 6 or would it point at the 12? It would point at the 12. Where would the minute hand point to show a half past time? Now that's something new and we haven't learned about that yet, but I'll tell you a secret. For o'clock, the big minute hand points at the 12, and for half past, the big minute hand points at the 6, which is halfway round the clock. Can you show me this time on your clock face? 2 o'clock. You can pause the video so that you can write. 2 o'clock. So the big minute hand needs to be on the 12, that's right. And the small hour hand has to be on the 2. Well done. 2 o'clock. Does yours look like mine? Can you draw this time? 6 o'clock. Remember, it says o'clock, so that means the big minute hand has to be on the 12 and the small hour hand has to be on the 6. Well done. 6 o'clock. Can you see my big minute hand on the 12? Making o'clock and the small hour hand on the 6. 6 o'clock. Can you draw this time? 12 o'clock. This one's tricky. Think very carefully. 12 o'clock. Where will your minute and hour hands go? Both at the same place. Well done. Can you show me this time on your clock? 7 o'clock. O'clock. So we know what that means. It means the big minute hand will be on the 12. So now you just have to draw where the small hour hand will be on the number 7. Well done. Do you think that you know how to tell the time to the hour? And did you draw a wonderful clock? Can you send your teacher some pictures of your wonderful clock